Okay, how you doing? I'm setting up my camera here. I'm going to show you one of my favorite sets. It involves a little bit of work, but it's a really good set. I've caught a lot of fox and coyotes on this, and I did it. I developed this set because I found a deer head that somebody had butchered, and I thought, oh, I could use that for bait. And how will I use it? Well, this is how I decided to do it. And deer heads are perfect for this, but you could use I've used gone to butcher shops and got chunks of offal or just something with bone, something really hard in that you can stake down that they can't pull away. So what I do now then, I call this my depression set. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to notch out a notch here, really good. Just pull it all back, and then I'm going to undercut the bank. Now you see, I'm here on a there's a trail here. I don't know if you can see it. Look, there's a machine trail here. Goes out here. There's a farm here with some trees and stuff. There's coyotes running up and down this place. And on this machine trail, there's coyotes and fox, as a matter of fact. And my friend keeps getting his chickens killed, so I'm gonna try to get rid of them for him. But anyway, so I'm digging. You dig this out about the size of a deer head. You want the deer head to be kind of level with the ground. Just dig that back in there. I guess it's kind of like a cross between a flat set and dirt hole set, really, I guess. If you want to look at it that way. But I'm gonna just dig this in there good. Back there really good. All right, so let's see how it works. Now, I always have a separate pair of gloves I use when I handle. I have a separate pair of gloves that I use when I handle my bait. Some people like Ed Schneider from Kansas Trapline Products stuff. I really respect him. He knows a lot what's going on. I learned a lot from him. And him and other people, they don't wear gloves. They don't worry about scent. I guess I learned to worry about scent, and this thing that sticks with me. So, okay, now I got this deer head. I'm just gonna wedge it right back in there. Really good. All right, so now it's kind of even with the cut. Then I'm gonna stake it down. Where'd I put that stake? Oh, there it is. So now I get my other gloves on. Oh, actually, I don't need that. And we'll stake that sucker in. So I'm just gonna stick it right here, pound her in. Crap. Stake her in really good. All right. So here's what she looks like. All right there, see? So I got that deer head in there really good, pounded it in there, and then we'll go ahead and finish it out here. All right, so I got her in there. Now I need my bed. So what I do is I use sand. Now I know a lot of people, they do the wax dirt. They got all the dried stuff, dried moss, and also husks and stuff like that. Well, I found that sand just does just as good a job. I mean, you put sand under concrete, so in the wintertime, when it thaws, it doesn't, or when it freezes, it doesn't cause the concrete to buckle. I kind of got the same idea. Well, sand should do the same thing. So I dig my trap bed a lot deeper than I normally would, and a lot bigger. I don't want it small. Like a normal trap bed to fit it in and get it tightly, because the sand's gonna bed that sucker in. And I'll show you. Hold on a second. Okay, So now I got my trap bed dug. So what I'm going to do is look at. I like to use 175 Bridgers offset jaws for coyotes and fox. I don't know. I just think they're good. I've never had one pull out. I don't think 2s and 3s. I prefer these. They're easier to set too. So look how big that bed is. Look how big that bed is. See that? I got it huge. All right, and let me show you why. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stake driver. I'm going to put it right down the center, and I'm going to drive that sucker down in there. No stake attached to it this time. I just want to make a big hole. All right, so I got a big hole there. Right there, right? That's where the water's going to drain to. Okay, so see if I can get that all right. All right, let me see if the picture's good still. Oh yeah, that's all right, I think. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I usually carry a bucket with the sand in it, but I'm just going to use this. But first, before I pour the sand in, I need to stake my trap down. So now I'm going to stake it down. I'm going to stake it down over on the edge here. All right, that ought to do it. That's why I always have a pair of pliers. Okay. Get this thing out. All right. A little out of shape here, sorry. Now I want to open up that hole again. Where the hell that is. There it is. Now let me pound it down again. I want to make sure I got a good hole in there. There we go. All right. So now I fill this whole bed up with sand. I usually have a bucket, but I found these sandbags, so I'm just gonna use these. So I'm just gonna fill that bed up like that. Usually I run it through the sifter. My first set of the year. It's my first set of the year, kind of a little off my game. So let's run it through the sifter. All right. Let's put a little more in there. I want to get it just maybe level with the ground. All right. So now I just take my trap, and I'll say I like to set the dog towards the bait or towards the set. It's about 10 inches, about right. About 9 inches or so. Get that all down there. Now I'm just gonna push it down there, but I'm not gonna try to bed it, right? I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, just give you a good look. There's the trap. Put this here. Where was that? All right, so I'm gonna take my trap cover, pan cover, which I should have opened up before. pull out. It doesn't matter what you use. I don't think I like to use those. I like to use those foam ones, but it's going to rain and freeze in a few days. And so this is going to really let you see how well this set works. I'm not using salt. I'm not using anything. I have used salt in these before just as a little extra precaution, but I don't think you need it. So I'm just going to put my trap pan under here. Make sure there's no sand underneath it. Put it right there. There we go. All right. So there we go. We got the trap set. It's all in there, and I didn't even try to bed it down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this over top, or hold it over top, and I'm just going to put sand over it. I'll leave these rocks here for now. All right, there we go. Now I'm just going to take my hand and I'm just going to dust it off. All right, there you go. That's what it looks like. Now watch this. Now, see, make sure I got it good. All right. All right, so now that I've got that down, I'm just going to pack around it like this. Dust it off a little bit. That thing does not budge anywhere. Oh, here's a little budge there. Just pack it down along the jaws. Don't go over the pan, of course. Just pack around it like that. Just tap it down, and that thing is moving a little bit, but it'll get better. There. Now that thing is not going anywhere. All that sand you just pack down on here, and all that sand fills in those little craps. Just pat down on it around the edges. That. Especially over the springs. That is solid. That ain't moving anywhere. I've never, since I've used sand, I've never caught a toe catch. It's always been right across the paw. I'm really impressed with this. So then what I'm going to do, just take some of this dirt. Cover up the sand so it looks the same. Build up the sides a little bit maybe. You know, make them come in where you want them. Don't want these there. My trap pan's about right there. So I'm going to want to kind of push it up here, make sure they come through that direction. All right, this is a good thing because we got corn cobs and stuff here because I'm next to a cornfield here. So I'm just going to lay a couple of these around there, try to guide them onto the step on the pan. Pan's about right there. Okay, that's the finished set. I guess you can either leave it messed up for eye appeal or you can duff it in. Me, I'm going to leave the eye appeal. Now, most places you can't have large baits in the open. Well, this isn't in the open. You can't see it from the air. But I'm going to take a little grass. I'm going to cover it up a little bit. But I just want a little bit of fur being peeking through there from the side. You can't see it from the air, but you can see it from the side. That just gives a little visual appeal. Now comes the good part. Now I'm just going to lure it up. I'll just put a little, I'll put a little call lure. I like to take pheasant tail feathers and dip them in my call lure and set them out. that seems to work really good. I do have some. I'll probably use that here. So let me go and finish it up. I'm going to put a little bit of a food lure on there, a little bit of gland lure, and I'm going to put a call lure back here. So so I'll film it when I'm completely done with it then, and I'll show you the whole thing. Okay. All right, so now it's time to bait. So this is a bottle I use. This stuff actually works pretty good. I take all my lures at the end of the season. Anything that all my gland lures, call lures, food lures, any kind of lures I got, and I throw it all in here at the end of the season. I fill up this bottle with it. I even put a little bit of anise in there. And this actually works pretty good. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to put a little bit of this right back in here. Kind of a all-purpose thing. Just give it a little squirt in there. Then I've got some, what we got here? I'm trying to find my gland lure. Oh, this is Flint Hills. We'll put a little of this in there. Let's see, I can find a stick. This will work, I think. Stick that back in there. And I know there's some gland lure around here in here somewhere that I can get. I think this is it. Yeah. Take a little bit of gland lure. And I'll smear it in there. Stick it in there too. Push it back in there. All right. Then I'll give her a little squirt of urine. And there you have it. This is what I call the depression set. It's kind of a cross between a dirt hole set and a flat set, but it uses big bait. I personally think that big bait will draw in more coyotes than a small bait, because they can smell if it's a small, how much is there in volume. I mean, would you walk 20 yards out of your way to pick up a penny? No, but would you walk 20 yards out of your way to pick up a bill? You know, if it was a dollar bill, if you saw a bill laying on the ground, sure you would. Coyotes and animals the same way. If it's not, if they walk by and they smell something and it's not worth their time, they're just gonna walk right on by it. Gotta leave something worth their time. Big bait's best. That's why I like this, because I get to use a big bait. Okay, there we go.